Comp students. It's Tuesday, February 2nd, and I just wanted to spend a few minutes talking to you about your research. I want to remind you, one, that research can be time consuming. Don't be surprised if you go through a bunch of sources before you find one that you think is really well suited to your topic. And you don't just want sources that are suited to your topic, you want sources that really address the research question. And so you're predominantly looking for sources that support your side of the research question. But I also want to remind you, down the road, you're going to be doing a refutation where you present two opposing arguments. So if you get a source that shows the opposing side, that's going to serve a purpose also. So be patient with the research process. I really want to encourage you not to take the shortest path, which is print up 4 sources, get a book, and say, there we go. You always need to have your eye on the bigger goal, which is you're going to be writing a persuasive paper. So right now you've got time at home. So I would really encourage you to invest the time in researching and finding some quality sources. Another question I've gotten is, what if I find more than 5 sources? Well, that's awesome. Like I said, you're probably going to have 8 to 12 sources. So you only need to turn in 5 with Park Sheets, because what those 5 are going to do is show me that you are able to evaluate sources. And I'm not going to require that on the rest of your sources unless you're doing a .com. Any .coms that go on your works cited sheet are going to require a Park Sheet. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I've told you you can use .com, but you've got to be really discriminating, because .coms are going to be a lot of the blog sites and a lot of the organizations that are trying to raise money. So you've really got to use your critical thinking skills to decide if a .com is going to provide reliable information. So be patient with the research. The second thing I want to say, I'm so grateful that Eliza Min asked me this question. Government websites. Things like the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, or the National Institute for Health. These are a wealth of information. They collect data. They do not have an author. And in that case, it is okay. If it is a reputable, site, like a government site, or if it's a statistical site, like the Pew Research Foundation or Gallup poll, where they exist to just present to you the results of surveys and polls and statistics, it's okay for those not to have an author, because the organization itself has such high reputation. If you're not sure, just send me the link and ask me. So those are the research guidelines. I just want to repeat, because sometimes you guys have so much information in front of you, you don't remember instructions. So this is going to be really important. At this point, you should have a mini thesis folder with 3 prongs and 2 pockets. It's supposed to be kind of flat. You will put all of your printed sources in this folder. They don't need to be hole punched. You can do the printed sources in the pocket, and you can do your Park Sheets in the other pocket. The Park Sheets don't have to be attached, but I want to remind you, you're numbering your sources. So it should be really clear to me, if you have 3 online articles, you've numbered them 1, 2, 3, and you've corresponding Park Sheets 1, 2, 3. Same thing with your book. Your book, even though it's a book, you're going to put a sticky tab on it with your name, please, and with a number, and you'll put that corresponding number on your Park Sheet. Okay? So that's enough about research. I want to talk a little bit about the next step. So you always have the step in front of you. The step in front of you is the most immediate assignment. It is turning in 5 sources, 5 Park Sheets on Friday at school before 2:30. But the next step is the Annie chart, and that is posted for you to look at. And I would encourage you to go ahead and print that out, because this is going to be an assignment that is due, I think, next Tuesday. And it's easier to do as you go along. So if you look at this chart, there's 3 columns. There's affirmative, negative, and interesting information. So Annie, affirmative, negative, interesting information. And there's 10 lines under each one. And so as you're getting your sources, you're beginning to read your sources. And you are getting some ideas of arguments for and against. So, my topic is on the United States building a border wall between the U.S. and Mexico. So my affirmative, I might have some items like border walls keep people out, border walls save lives, border walls have a long history, border walls are cost effective, meaning their cost is worth it. Okay, there's some affirmative arguments. Negative arguments, I might say that border walls are too expensive, that border walls are unrealistic. There are better ways to patrol the border, that border walls are inhumane. So there's some negative arguments. And then under interesting information, I might have some things like there's a border wall between Palestine and Israel that's been effective. We've had border walls in the past in the United States that have been effective. I might put down something like a border wall will cost this amount of money. Presidents have been paying for the border wall since President Clinton. So just things that, interesting information that I might use. Now, as you're reading, the reason I want you to go ahead and print this is because as you're reading your sources, I've asked you to highlight information and write A for affirmative, N for negative, I for interesting information. You also can go ahead and start completing this sheet. So you can do this as you go. I think that's a really good approach. However, I will tell you that next Monday you will get your sources back and your Monday night assignment will be to complete the Annie chart. So you can do it in one intense effort on Monday night, or you can do it as you go. Okay? So that's all I have to say today. Spend your time researching. I hope every one of you has located a book. And I just want to re-emphasize, you don't need to spend a bunch of money on your book. Be good to your parents. And Maddie shared yesterday that the Central Library is open and other libraries are open for pickup. So you're going to have to plan ahead if you need to pick up sources. Okay, I hope you guys have a great day and I look forward to the questions that you have. Bye-bye.